Update 21. Chains of Harrow came out recently, and it's been a long time since my last affinity and focus farm guide. Some things have been changed that make the previous guide not very good anymore. In this video, I'll show you the up-to-date methods to cap out daily focus, syndicates, and leveling weapons with Warframes very quickly. Farming affinity for Warframes and weapons. In my previous video, I used to use Ivara's sleep arrows with invisibility to proc stealth kills. However, since then, a change has been made which affects the enemy condition even under Ivara's sleep. This means that even if you have a big pack of enemies slept with Ivara, killing some inside may alert enemies, even those which are also asleep. The solution to this is Equinox. Equinox has an ability called Rest and Rage, which puts enemies to sleep. The reason why it's special is because it pauses the enemy's state regardless of what happens around it. If the enemy is put to sleep when it's not alerted, the amount of noise or kills next to the enemy will not make them alert. This should be the case with Ivara as well, but unfortunately doesn't work that way anymore. Here's the build I use for Equinox. It requires 2 Forma. Energy Siphon for Aura. Enemy Sense in the Exiles. This helps greatly in seeing enemies behind closed doors and around corners, as well as seeing whether they are alerted or not. Stretch, Overextended, and Cutting Drift for range. Prime Continuity and Constitution for duration. Fleeting Expertise and Streamline for power efficiency, which will allow you to spam Rest and Rage constantly. Lastly, Natural Talent, which increases power cast speed, which adds nice utility. For melee weapon I use Orthos Prime. Prime Pressure Point and Spoil Strike for base damage, Fever Strike, Shocking Touch, Virulent Scourge and Voltaic Strike for corrosive damage, Body Count for combo duration, and Primed Reach for longer range. Orthos Prime has a very good base attack animation. First hit is a quick hit that doesn't lock you into animation and allows you to smoothly advance from one target to another. The mission I recommend going is Sedna Adaro. Previously, it was a Grineer Galleon mission which featured arc traps. However, since then was changed into Grineer Asteroid tileset, which is perfect for affinity farming since Grineer give a lot of experience and there are no units or traps to stop your stealth streak. During missions, scout out the room for enemies and start using your Rest and Rage to put enemies to sleep. Usually it's a good idea to make sure all the enemies in the room are affected before proceeding with kills, as that prevents random enemies getting alerted. With an affinity booster, you can cap out your 100,000 focus points with 2 good runs. Without, it takes around 4 runs. Rest and Rage has a damage threshold of 50%, meaning enemies will wake up after they take over half their health and damage, which makes this method not very reliable for leveling automatic rifles or just weak weapons in general. The solution for that is Ivara, since enemies affected by her sleep do not wake up even after taking damage. Here's the build I use. Corrosive Projection for Aura, Enemy Sense for detection, Stretch and Overextended for range, Prime Continuity and Narrow-Minded for power duration, Streamline with Fleeting Expertise for power efficiency, and Infiltrate Augment that increases your movement speed during prowl. The same method applies here, using arrow to sleep enemies in the entire room and then using your weapon to kill them. Using a highly visible energy color is good as well, as that clearly shows which enemies are affected by your sleep. Having a Syndicate Regalia equipped during these missions will make sure you max out your daily cap before you max out focus. To max out cephalon simaris daily cap, Ivara is also a very good choice. Other stealth frames like Loki or Ash work too with maximum invisibility duration. However, Ivara can stay permanently invisible as long as you have energy, so you won't need to recast invisibility and risk enemies seeing you. Getting into a mission and scanning enemies which are not alerted will give you over 200% simaris experience per scan. During any other mission other than Exterminate, you can run out of enemies to scan since they will either not spawn enough or teleport enemies you did not kill to the room you're in. Doing Exterminate takes care of those problems as there's a minimum set amount of enemies in a mission and you can scan and kill the ones which are scanned and don't have to wait for new spawns. As long as you don't alert enemies, one Exterminate run should be enough to max out your daily simaris, but if you happen to have a couple of thousand left before your cap, Doing another run is a big overkill. In that case, you can do a mission on Earth E Prime node, which has a very small amount of enemies to exterminate, but will be enough to fill the daily cap and will take a very small amount of time to complete. As far as leveling frames goes, the fastest way to do it is to have a friend do one of the first mentioned methods and you following behind leeching experience. You can level frames like that extremely fast. As far as solo goes, doing spy missions is a decent way to get initial levels, and doing endless relic runs is a good way to get experience as well, provided you have a weapon yourself you can contribute with. This covers the methods I used to level warframes and weapons past update 21, Chains of Harrow. If you need help leveling something or have any questions, feel free to come to my Discord or leave a comment.